Hello guys, and welcome back to the second part of the Guadalupe tutorial. Today I will be using Gouache Tempera paint, which is a water-based paint using egg yolk as a medium instead of Arabic gum. The advantage of using gouache is that it dries super fast and we can work layer after layer, just adding a little bit of water if it dries. We will need 2 glasses with water, one to clean the brush, this is the glass with dirty water, and another glass with clean water to use each color. As you can see here, I am using only primary colors to mix and achieve the right colors. For instance, for the mantle of Guadalupe, I am using cerulean blue, cadmium yellow, and in the light parts I will add white, and for the dark parts I will add a little bit of black. It is advisable that we create the color swatches before we make the painting. Get as close as possible from the original shades of the paint. We use a piece of paper and we are testing whether to add more blue or yellow to achieve this kind of sea green tone. Guadalupe's tunic gives the impression of being a pink color, but in reality it is the color of the same ayate, the surface of the painting. The optical effect gives these beautiful pinkish tones that we can obtain when mixing vermilion, yellow and white. As you can notice, it is the same tone than of the base of the globe. The yellow in her mantle is the same color as the rays, and the outside of the globe leans more towards vermilion. I am painting on my A4 sketchbook from Winsor & Newton, which I covered with some layers of gesso to reuse it because I didn't like what I had painted before, but the truth is that it is better to use gouache directly on paper, since painting on gesso prevents colors from being absorbed properly. So learn by my mistakes and use it directly on paper for the next time. In this tutorial we'll be working with layers. That is, we need to add one color and let it dry before we add the next. This is part of enjoying the process, not feeling pressured to want a perfect image at first, but to meditate with each color, line and form. We're adding a bit of our time in each brush stroke, so we need to have patience and trust that it will turn out okay. Nor we will expect to achieve a work of art in one morning. Works of art are revealed over time. It is like cooking. We need to familiarize ourselves with the ingredients and textures to create the flavors. So our eyes are exercising and we see the most subtle variations as we spend time painting. The more we paint, the sharper our sense of color will be. After covering the main base with color, my personal method is to look for the defined or darker points, since that will be our reference to locate the luminous points and then to integrate both using medium tones. We will be painting more intuitively, mixing our colors with more white or more black as we need it, always using the color mixtures we made from the beginning so that the color modeling is more consistent. As you can see, I mixed our pink shade with a little black to achieve the gray color of the shadows. In this way, the colors of light and shadow are congruent with the base color. As I mentioned earlier, some colors are intuitively brewing, like if I wanted to give more consistency to the tunic's shadow, I added vermilion to the gray mixture. We could go on painting for days to achieve our perfect image, but that part of the process, as I said, it's up to you, to keep studying colors and adding layers as much as it is necessary. In my case, it takes me a month to complete a painting with perfect finishes, and this video would be too long, so for now, we can use it for practice, and later on our next videos, I am sure we will improve our technique and our skills. This is the part in which I need to let go and continue with the next details that we need to work on too. To trace the stars on her mantle, there are studies on the constellations that were seen in the sky on the date on her appearance, on December 12, 1531. These constellations include part of the stars in her mantle, such as four stars of Ophiuchus, the stars of Libra, four stars from Scorpius, two stars from Lupus, one star from Hydra, five stars from Centaurus, the four stars from the Crux, and the lonely star from Canis Major. On the other side we find the stars from Botes, I don't know how to pronounce it. The lone star of Coma Berenice, all the stars from Ursa Major, stars from Auriga, and only 3 stars from Taurus. For the arabesques, that is, the designs of flowers that appears on her tunic, we follow the same tracing technique directly on the reference. Tracing one of the flowers is more than enough, since the design of her dress repeats the same flower, only when a couple of small flowers as variations. By the way, the small flower that we see in the center of her belly is very important, since for the natives, that flower supposedly made reference to the sun. So when painting your Guadalupe, do not forget to always place that little flower at that point. Using this tracing transparent paper, and then we trace it on our sketchbook or in a place where we can practice to decompose the figure into geometric shapes and learn the stroke by ourselves, in the way that our hand will memorize the movements and be able to trace it freely on the painting. We divide our studies of arabesques in 3 parts, one with one traced reference, another with the composition of geometric shapes, and another for our freehand practice. As we could see in the other video in part 01 of our tutorial, we divided the original form into halves and trying to make a grid to more or less give us an idea of its proportion. As you can see, the arabesques seem to be a bit complicated shape, but as we simplify it in geometric shapes, we can see circles in different sizes and lines in different curvatures. Now, when we draw freely, it is easy to recognize the shape of the flower, its leaves, and its details. Let me know, guys, if I am going too fast, but here, just to make it a little bit more clear, I am going to trace it with gold so that you can follow up as I go. Don't worry, I will leave these studies in Patreon so that we can use it as a reference material for your tutorial. Now for our last detail. Have you noticed before that arabesques do not follow the folds of the dress? These seem to go on some kind of invisible cloth that covers the tunic. There is another study that says that the arabesque flowers of her tunica do not show their roots because they emerge from her mantle that represents the starry sky. So when you paint your Guadalupe, remember this and trace the flowers and their roots in the stars too. This is all for this month in Patreon. I hope that you enjoyed as much as I did, painting a Guadalupe and learning some of her secrets and symbols. This image helped you to create your own Guadalupe? Tag me on the photo or we can share some feedback. Let me know how this tutorial was for you and what would you like to deepen more for our next tutorials on Patreon. And I am super happy to see you there and to see our next videos and creations. Take care. Bye.